What's going on YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. I came across this tweet from Charlie Intel outlining the features that will not be present in the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions of Black Ops 6. No theater mode and no split screen. And it made me ask the question, why is Black Ops 6 releasing on the PlayStation 4? Why is it releasing on the Xbox One? The new consoles, the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S and X, released back in 2020. Understandable for Black Ops Cold War that they'd release it on the PlayStation 4. Understandable that they do it for Call of Duty Vanguard. Excusable for Modern Warfare 2. But it seems like we're really stretching it with Modern Warfare 3 and now Black Ops 6. Especially now where we have to sacrifice certain aspects of the game just for it to function on last gen. Seems pretty counterproductive if you ask me. Until you start looking into it. As of May of this year, the PlayStation 4 makes up half of PlayStation's monthly active users at 49 million. So if Black Ops 6 decided to only release on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series S and X, they would be fundamentally alienating millions of players. And we're not talking 5, 10, we're talking the potential of hundreds of millions of players. Now, granted, that's not how many people are playing Call of Duty, but you get the picture. There is a large player base that has not upgraded yet to the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series S or X. And understandably so, I totally get it. Look at the price point for a PlayStation 5. Currently in Canada, they are going for $579 for the disc version or $509 for the digital version. So you're still spending close to $600 on just the console. Never mind the $100 game. Never mind the monthly fee to utilize the online services. And we're already close to $650. Well, it's much easier, especially with the amount of monetization in Call of Duty and in other games, to just keep your PlayStation 4, not upgrade, and be able to buy the monetization items. Be able to upgrade a controller. Like a PlayStation 5 controller is $100. Gaming just isn't cheap anymore. Everything is costing more and more. And look at how much the PlayStation 5 Pro console is going to cost. That's going to set you back over $1,000 after taxes in Canada. That's insane. Never mind the games and the subscription service that you have to subscribe to play online. So they're able to nickel and dime you everywhere. So it makes sense why some people haven't upgraded. And there was that scarcity early on where nobody could get a PlayStation 5. Even Xbox Series X's were tough to come by. Now those supply chain issues have been resolved, but it doesn't mean people are jumping the gun to go buy the next console, especially with upgraded versions already releasing. So I totally understand why. And from a business perspective, to shift this back to Call of Duty, it makes a ton of sense. Instead of alienating players from being able to play your game, why not be available to more players, right? Having that opportunity to be available to PlayStation 4 players and Xbox One players only increases your player pool, which in the end increases how much money you make. And that trade-off of performance and features is well worth it for you to get a little bit of extra money. At the end of the day, I can criticize Call of Duty for the way they want to run their business, the way that they choose to prioritize certain things. But they're very good at making money, and I'll never deny that. So it makes perfect sense why they are deciding to still market to the old generation of consoles as well as produce games for it. It makes a ton of sense. It's only going to fill their pockets. And I don't know what the solution is here to get more people into the next-gen consoles so that we can really see what these games can do when they're only developed for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S and X, so that we can see some true performance and fidelity from those consoles instead of potential hindrances by having to make the game function for like 10 different consoles. Like Xbox alone has 5 different versions of their console that this game is going to be playable on. The original Xbox One, the Xbox One S, the Xbox One X, Then you have the Series S and the Series X. That's 5 different consoles. Then you add PC in there. Then you add the PlayStation 4 Pro, the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 5 Slim. Like, I get it that spec-wise, some of these don't change drastically, but you still have to optimize this game to function on a base model PlayStation 4 while also having it be able to function on a PlayStation 5. There's a lot that goes into this, but it's worth it for these companies because there's players there. If there weren't players there, I would totally understand, but that's not what the numbers show us. But what I want to leave this video off with, and maybe it's a question for you, it's definitely something that I'm going to be paying attention to as we move forward into the next Call of Duty game and into more games releasing, is when do we abandon that last generation? When is it that we fully dive into the current gen? Is it once the PlayStation 5 Pro comes out and the Series S or X gets a bit of an upgrade? Or is it still a few years down the road once people have been able to catch up and purchase this new console? Because I don't know if you guys know it, times are tough out there. Not everybody has $600 to blow on a console. Not a lot of families are putting a PlayStation 5 under the tree this year. It's just not the fact of the world that we currently live in. But nonetheless, to stay away from economics, because I'm sure you guys don't care, it's going to be fascinating to see which games decide to leave the last generation behind first. We already saw it with X Defiant. Maybe that's to their detriment. Who knows? When is it going to come for Call of Duty? At what point does Fortnite phase out the last gen? At what point does Apex do it? What point do some of these games that offer themselves up as a service phase out that last generation? At what point do sports games do it? At what point do games like Call of Duty do it? These are fascinating questions that we'll see answered over the next few years. But I do find it interesting that Infinite Warfare was the first Call of Duty game that was not available on the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3. And that was only 3 years after the Xbox One and PS4 launched. And then diving even deeper, Call of Duty 4 was not available on the PlayStation 2 or the original Xbox. And the 360 and PlayStation 3 only came out in 2006. So it's not like there was a lot of time where Call of Duty was being developed for multiple platforms like it is today. And it's interesting how we have continuously extended the lifespan of the older consoles as time has gone on. Think back to the late 2000s, where if you were still using a PlayStation 2 in like 2008 or 9, you had a relic. Same thing goes with the PlayStation 3 by 2016, 2017. You were utilizing a relic. But now it seems to be commonplace where people are still using their PlayStation 4s and their Xbox Ones, because the cost of upgrade is so high and it doesn't feel like you are missing out on anything. It seemed that game companies were much quicker to phase out the old generations than they are now. So to answer the question from the start of the video, why are they releasing Black Ops 6 on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One? Because it makes smart business sense. But the real question I want answered is from you. If you are still playing on the old generation, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, what is preventing you from upgrading? Is it cost? Is it convenience? Is it the fact that all of your favorite games are still being released on both consoles? So leave a comment down below answering that question. And that's it for the video. A little bit of a different style today, but I thought it was fun to do, a little introspective, a little bit of a history lesson. And yeah, I hope to see you guys on the next one. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.